Welcome back to Something Wicked, where we delve into cases that shock the world. Today, we're diving into a tale of romance gone horribly wrong, set against the backdrop of paradise. This is the story of Daniel Sancho Bronchal, a free-spirited YouTube chef with surfer boy good looks, and Edwin Arrieta, a gifted surgeon and entrepreneur from humble beginnings who fell in love with him. What started with an unlikely flirtatious online encounter ended as a scandalous and gruesome chapter in true crime history. It all started with a seemingly harmless flirtation on social media. Daniel Sancho Bronchal, a Spanish chef with a YouTube following, sent a message to Edwin Arrieta, a Colombian surgeon with a life ahead of him. The message read, "Hey, I've seen your pictures from Koh Ever wanted to cook with a local chef on the beach under the full moon?" It was playful, irresistibly enticing, and opened the door to what would become a deadly rendezvous. Their connection grew, fueled by the promise of adventure and the allure of Thailand's infamous full moon parties. They planned to meet on the tropical island of Koh Phangan, known for its party scene, but it was here that the dream of paradise would turn into a nightmare. August 2023, Daniel and Edwin arrived on the island separately, their paths destined to cross in a way no one could predict. But before that horrific event, who was Edwin Arrieta? In the heart of Larica, a town rich with a history of Syrian and Lebanese immigrants, a boy named Edwin Arrieta grew up. Born into a humble family where hard work was the cornerstone, his parents, Marcela Arteaga, a dedicated school teacher, and Leobaldo Arrieta, a skilled appliance repairman, instilled in him firm principles and a burning desire to excel. Edwin's curiosity, empathy, and ambition shone, which endeared him to everyone. His sister Darlene said from a young age he decided that he wanted to be a doctor to help children with cleft lips. His determination convinced his low-income parents to invest in his medical school education with faith that he will reciprocate their investment. Even as a young boy, he was eager to earn his place in the world and mingle with the local elite. Edwin ascended from the depths of poverty to a meaningful life of helping humanity and reaching the lofty echelons of high society. Sadly, the good life he worked so hard to obtain ended in a grim fate. Pieces of his human remains were scattered over an island and in a landfill. In a twist of bitter irony, it was Edwin's opulent success as a surgeon and entrepreneur that marked him a victim, drawing the lethal notice of one Daniel Sancho Bronchal. Or was Edwin not as innocent as he seemed? Daniel Sancho Bronchal was born into a life of privilege. He's the son of Spanish actors Rodolfo Sancho Aguirre and Silvia Bronchal. Daniel Sancho Bronchal grew up surrounded by wealth and influence. His social media profiles are filled with pictures of exotic locations and luxurious living. He painted the picture of a carefree young man and YouTube chef, living the high life. He was a rising influencer in Spain, often sharing moments from his travels, friendships with other well-known figures, and his personal passions. But beneath the glamorous surface, his life was far from perfect. Daniel Sancho asserted himself as the manager of a prominent Madrid restaurant, a claim later refuted by the establishment's owner, who clarified that Sancho's role was limited to public relations and social media. Despite this, Sancho harbored ambitions to open his own establishment and sought financial backing from Arrieta to realize this dream. Daniel Sancho Bronchal started contact with Edwin Arrieta via Instagram, where they initially shared a passion for gastronomy and travel. After a year, they met in person. In time, their relationship evolved into one of intimacy, ultimately becoming transactional from the perspective of the 29-year-old Daniel. However, it would become clear that Edwin, who was 44 years old and closeted, wanted something more than a business partnership, and Daniel played along for a while. However, it would become clear that the closeted Edwin, who was 44 years old and is often pictured traveling alone, wanted something more than a business partnership, and Daniel played along for a while. Apparently, this arrangement was enough for a while because Edwin became Daniel's sugar daddy. According to reports from the program Fiesta, Sancho held a credit card directly linked to the Colombian doctor's account. Spanish channel Telecinco disclosed that a credit card with a monthly limit of $28,000 was in Daniel Sancho's name. The card's last usage was during that week in Thailand and was connected to Edwin Arrieta's bank account. Ironically, Daniel likely used the surgeon's credit card against him to purchase the implements to end his life: a knife and plastic bags, rubber gloves, sponges, and cleaning fluid. It was an obscenely cruel betrayal. Edwin Arrieta reportedly promised to invest in Daniel's business venture in Madrid, Spain. According to reports, Edwin had loaned up to $166,000 to help Daniel open a restaurant in Madrid. Unfortunately, this project never came to fruition. But what drove Daniel to slaughter someone who was so good to him? Daniel alleged that Edwin was leveraging compromising photographs to coerce him into maintaining their arrangement by threatening to ruin his reputation and his relationship with his girlfriend. Edwin had become a problem. After a year of getting to know each other, they finally met in person on the Thai island of Fama during its monthly full moon celebrations. According to Daniel, the situation deteriorated that night when they engaged in a heated argument after Edwin allegedly forced himself on him. According to Daniel's account, during their physical struggle, Edwin fell and struck his head on the bathtub, resulting in his death. Daniel then dismembered the body into 14 pieces, placing the parts in plastic bags and scattering them across the island. After butchering Edwin, Daniel, with the detachment of a sociopath, nonchalantly celebrated with two unsuspecting women. He later reported Edwin missing to the Thai police. In early August 2023, trash collectors reported Edwin's sawed-off body parts to the authorities. Convenience store surveillance footage showed Daniel purchasing rubber gloves, a knife, cleaning solutions, and garbage bags prior to the crime. The police had sufficient evidence linking Daniel to the crime and arrested him on charges of ending Edwin and dismembering his body. During his trial in August 2024, the prosecutors presented concrete evidence to prove his guilt on all charges. However, the defense argued that the defendant acted in self-defense when the victim allegedly forced him into a sexual encounter. However, this seemed unlikely considering Daniel was younger and more fit than Edwin. Daniel claimed during their argument, Edwin fell and hit his head against the bathtub. But that doesn't explain why he stabbed Edwin in the chest at least 3 times and slit his throat. Ultimately, Daniel pleaded guilty. However, in his defense, he said,
"I am guilty, but I was Edwin's hostage. It was a glass cage, but it was a cage. It made me destroy my relationship with my girlfriend. It forced me to do things that I would never have done."
Daniel Sancho Bronchal is currently serving his life sentence at Surat Thani prison in Thailand. The conditions there are notoriously harsh, overcrowded cells, limited access to basic necessities, and a high mortality rate due to disease and violence. It's a hell of a far cry from the celebrity lifestyle he once knew. Additionally, Daniel has been ordered to pay over 4.2 million baht, approximately $125,000, in restitution to Edwin Arrieta's family, as Edwin was the sole provider for his loved ones. Diaby Palomino, a friend of Arrieta, left him an emotional message on Facebook: "Peace at the tomb of Edwin Miguel Arrieta Arteaga. His unexpected departure without the opportunity to say goodbye leaves a void impossible to fill in the bosom of his family, for which he saw and worked. His personal footprint and impeccable professionalism marked his prestige and respect." Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for other true crime stories.